Hey, what's up, Anomaly? I'm sharing with y'all today about John chapter 11. So don't forget to read chapter 11 and let your leader know what you got from it. You can text Pastor Jason and I, let us know what you got out of it, what you thought and everything, and text us. We miss you guys. But anyways, I wanted to pull out some things from chapter 11 that just really stood out to me in reading it today that I just want to touch on because I think it's really good and just good stuff. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to pull out and talk to you guys. Okay, so let's see. John chapter 11. At first, Mary, Martha, they're friends of Jesus. Lazarus, they're friends. They have a good relationship. They love each other. Jesus loves them like friends. And he gets word that Lazarus is he's sick, he's dying, and all of this stuff. And his response is, okay, we're gonna wait a couple days. Boba. Y'all, this little dog wants attention. I'm busy. Anyways, he waits a couple days before he goes to see Lazarus, and then one of his disciples, when he finally does decide to go to see Lazarus, one of his disciples is like, wait, they're trying to stone you. You shouldn't go. They're trying to stone you over there. They're going to kill you. And he's like, we got to go. Come on. I'm paraphrasing, of course. Anyways, Thomas, the guy known as Doubting Thomas, poor guy, he got a bad rap. But he's the one that says, let's go, you guys. Let's go die with Jesus. So they know that in this city where Jesus is about to go to see Lazarus, to meet with Mary and Martha, that there's people there looking for Jesus, looking to kill him. And so they're trying to convince him, don't go. And he says, I'm going to go, basically. This is to glorify God, we got to go do this. And Thomas, who somehow is known as Doubting Thomas, is the one that says, we're coming, we're going to die with you. And he tells his friends, the other disciples, let's go, we're going to die with Jesus. And what's amazing and what stood out to me about that is that this poor guy got this bad reputation of being known as a doubter, but he in that moment was willing to die with Jesus. And that is because he realized that life was not worth living without Jesus. He realized that, just how worth it that Jesus is. He realized that following Jesus was more important than his own life, because he didn't have a life without the Lord. His life wasn't worth it without the Lord. So I just find that so amazing. Why should we call him Doubting Thomas? Why should we know him as a doubter when he obviously recognized that life wasn't worth living without Jesus, that following Jesus was worth his life. And I think that we should all come to that revelation. We need to, as Christians, come to that revelation in our own heart, in our own life, and just make up our own mind that a life without Jesus isn't worth living. It's just not. And I think that if we don't come to that conclusion, and if we don't have that solid truth in our heart that life is only worth living with the Lord, that, whenever storms come, we're going to fall. And we're not going to stand for the Lord if we don't know that we know that we know that it's not worth it without Jesus. It's not worth it. He is everything for us. He's peace, he's strength, he's mercy and grace and forgiveness and love. And this life isn't really living without him. The other thing that I want to talk to you about that I noticed in this chapter is that Jesus waited. He loved Lazarus. He loved Mary and Martha. And he waited 4 days. 4 days. Lazarus was dead for 4 days before Jesus got there. And Jesus hurt, and he felt every bit of pain That's why it says he was angry and he wept. You know, when we get hurt sometimes and we get mad, Boba's crying because Jason's outside. We get mad and we cry because we're hurting so badly. Jesus felt that. So if there's ever a moment that you're doubting, Jesus knows what you're going through, or Jesus knows what you feel or what that feels like, he felt it. He felt it all. So he knows exactly what that feels like. So he waited. Lazarus is dead for 4 days. He gets there and they're like, "Why? What took you so long? If you were here sooner, this wouldn't have happened." And Jesus knew. He knew that he could raise Lazarus from the dead. He knew that, but it still hurt him. He still felt that sting of having a loved one die. And so he finally gets there, and Mary and Martha are still having trouble believing. A little bit of trouble. They have faith in Jesus, and they're still telling Jesus, like, worshiping him and praising him and saying, "You're good. I know that God's going to give you whatever you ask for. I know that I'll see my brother again whenever we all rise from the dead together." And she's saying this thing, and she's still praising Jesus in the midst of this heartbreak, in the midst of this hurt that she just lost someone that she loves. And still telling Jesus, like, having the faith to say, "I know God's going to give you whatever you ask for, Jesus. I know he is." She still has that faith. And I think what's so important about that is that at that moment, she doesn't know if Jesus is going to raise her brother from the dead. She doesn't know, but she knows that he's worthy and he's good and he's faithful. It took him 4 days. It took him 4 days to get there. They waited, and it probably hurt really, really bad. They mourned for those days, but Jesus was faithful to come. And what I want to tell you is that in your situation, whenever you are crying out to Jesus, whenever you're praying and you feel like you aren't getting anything, you feel like he's not there, you feel like he's not listening. Boba, hey, I'm preaching over here. Get down. You feel like he's not listening. You're in the middle of a storm. You're hurting. You're crying out to him. And you're like, "Where are you, Lord? Where are you, Lord?" You may not know when exactly he's going to show up, but you know he's faithful to come. He came. He came for Lazarus. He came, and he comes, and he shows up every time that we cry out to him. And maybe it doesn't look like what we thought. Maybe it's not at the time that we wanted. Maybe it's not right away. Maybe he waits 4 days. Who knows? Before you actually feel like he showed up, but he shows up. He shows up for you when you cry out for him. He shows up for you when you go and ask him for help. He shows up for you. And you have to remember, in the meantime, while you're waiting, while you're mourning, while you're hurting, that he's still good, that he's still faithful, that God is still going to give him whatever he asks for, even if it seems or feels like it's too late. He shows up and he's there for you. All right? That's all I got for you today. Sorry for the interruptions from my little puppy. But I love you guys. Happy Easter weekend. I hope you're having an amazing time with your family, and just having a good, fun weekend. I wish I could see you guys tomorrow. I miss you guys. I can't wait for when we can see you guys again. And I love you guys, and see you next time. Bye.